Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you all in this session. Myself, Assistant Professor Ripa Gupta from LG School of Law. Today we will discuss on the subject of law of contract, in which we'll cover three topics: lawful object, lawful consideration, exception to consideration, and void agreements. So to start with the legality of object and consideration. So we'll discuss lawful object and lawful consideration. So lawful object, lawful consideration defined under Section 23 of Indian Contract Act. So lawful object and consideration is so important. It is a prime condition that in your contract you must have a lawful object and lawful consideration. If it does not, then you will not form a legal contract. For example, if I am paying you money for kidnapping someone, or if I am paying you money for betting in cricket match, so this will not form a lawful contract because it has illegal consideration. So this again will against the contract act, and for forming a lawful contract or forming a contract, you must have lawful object and lawful consideration. So let us see the section 23 of Indian Contract Act. Section 23 says that the object or the consideration of the agreement must be lawful, and this states that certain situation where it is unlawful. So first situation is if it is a forbidden by law. Second, it says that it is a such of nature that if permitted, it would defeat the provision of law. Third, if it is a fraudulent. And fourth, it says that it involves or implies injury to the person or property of another, or the court regards it as an immoral or opposed to public policy. So these are four nature which are against the lawful contract and lawful consideration. If these things are there in your contract, you will not form a lawful contract. So to understand this one by one. So first is forbidden by law. If you are forming any kind of contract which is forbidden by law, it is not a contract in the eyes of law. So if your contract contains such object or your contract has such consideration which is illegal in the eyes of law, it will not form of contract. It is a forbidden by law. It is denied by law. For example, selling of liquor in Gujarat is forbidden by law. So if you are making any contract for selling or purchasing liquor, it is not a contract with the eyes of law and you are committing something wrong. So it is forbidden by law. For example, if I am betting in any game, it is again against the law and forbidden by law. So if such object or consideration is there in your contract, it is against the lawful contract or lawful object and consideration. So it will not form a contract. Second is defeat the provision of law. For example, your agreement defeat any provision of law, it will not count as a lawful contract. For example, certain things may not be forbidden by law, but the result may infringe any law provision. For example, two partners for avoiding tax, avoiding paying of tax, they hide certain provisions. So this may not be forbidden by law, but by doing that they are doing tax evasion. So this is forbidden by law. So if your conduct result into defeat any provision of law, again will not come under as a lawful contract. It will not form a contract in the eyes of law. Third is fraudulent purpose. So if you are doing something for under the fraud, if you are cheating anyone, or your purpose of a contract is to commit a fraud, it will not form a lawful contract. For example, A being an agent of a land, selling it without the prior permission from the principal. So here he is committing fraud. So this cannot be form a legal contract or cannot be enforced by the law of contract. So if you have any kind of purpose as a fraud in your contract, it will not form a law of contract. The last is injury to person or property of another. If your consideration or your contract result into injury to the other person or any property, it will not form of contract. For example, any wrong thing like a crime to assault, battery or murder, such contract are against the uh, you know uh, it is a wrong act. So such injury this will cause injury to any person or their property. So this will not form a legal contract. So this cannot be said as a contract in the law of contract. Then next is immoral. If your contract in the nature of public is immoral, you cannot form a contract. For example, any public officials taking bribe for any someone else work, this against public policy. It is in the nature it is immoral. No one can should do this under his service. So such contract are against the law of contract. So this will not form a legal contract. Then last is opposed public policy. If your contract or your agreement is against a policy or declared by the court to be against public policy, again it will not form a contract. For example, you make an agreement which may result into infringement of the security of a country. If you have such agreement, this is opposed to public policy, or if you have a contract which may result into breaking of the peace or tranquility of any state, this will against the public policy. So such kind of contract will not form a legal contract and against the law of contract. Section 24 defines that if any part of a contract is illegal, then the whole agreement is void. For example, if I am hiring any person for superintend my work, so if I manufacture certain goods, but I also manufacture certain illegal, or I am trafficking certain illegal goods, and I am taking him and I am telling him to take care of my trafficking goods, illegal trafficking goods, I'll pay you 10,000 extra for this service. So here this particular agreement will declare void to the whole contract of hiring someone as a superintendent. So any part of a contract is illegal or against public policy, the whole contract will declare as a void in the law of contract. So the thing should be illegal or against the public or against the lawful object will declare as an illegal contract. So your contracts must have lawful consideration and lawful object in the eyes of law. This will only form the lawful contract. Now next topic is exception to consideration. So we have already learned what is consideration. So consideration is a prime condition to form a legal contract. But there are certain exception to consideration. That means certain agreements may not have consideration, but it will form a lawful contract. So we'll see such exceptions now. So section 25 defines the exception to consideration. So section 25 subclause 1 talks about if your contract comes from a natural love or affection, this will not need any consideration. Then section 25 subclause 2 talk about past voluntary services. If you have done something in past and it is still we are need to recover from the person, it will form a contract without consideration. And last is 25 subclause 3 that talks about time bar date. If you need to recover money or you need to pay certain money that you have borrowed since long time, and if you need to pay it, it again will not need a consideration. So these are three conditions, or these are three things which are talked about the exception to consideration. Now section 25 subclause 1, it talks about first exception, that is your agreement related to natural love and affection. Now natural love and affection is not defined in the law of contract. It talks about a very near relationship, that means a blood relationship or a husband and wife. So if you are in agreement with such kind of person in other such relationship, it will not need a consideration, but there must one condition, natural love and affection. So we'll discuss the case of Rajlaki Dabi versus Bhutnath Mukherjee. In this case, defendant promised her wife because of the quarrels between them, because of the huge misunderstanding between them. They start living separately, and that person promised her to pay her maintenance. So, but he somehow failed. So she filed a case in the court, said he is my husband and he has to pay me. There is no consideration because we have formed contract from nature, love and affection. But court says that you get separated because you don't have love and affection. So this contract will not form a lawful contract because it needs a lawful consideration. Here you did not form a contract because you have love, because you have not love each other, you don't love each other anymore, you form a contract because you have so much quarrels between each other. So she is not liable to take maintenance from her husband. So that is a must condition, that to form such kind of contract, you must have a love and affection between the two parties, and if there is no, in that circumstance only you can get the exception to the consideration. Section 25 subclause 2 about past consideration. That means you have done something in past as a voluntarily service. The first and prime word is voluntarily. If I have done something to some person, if I helped him in certain things, if I found one purse of him and he promised me to that he will give me some reward. So in such circumstances only that consideration will be having an exception over it. But here the prime condition is you have done something voluntarily. That your act must be voluntarily, and that is, of course, a past consideration. You have done something in past before forming a contract, and now he rewards you. So in this you can have an exception to consideration. Now, the last is promise to pay time bar date. Time bar date means when a customer borrowed money but he failed to repay it from since long time. So now even that time has been, you know, going out from his hand that he cannot even file a case in the court for taking that money. So time bar date again become an enforceable contract, but that contract must be in writing or it should be signed by the promisor or by his agent, especially authorized agent. So in that case, you can have money from your time bar date, but it may be a partly date or the whole date. But if it is a promised in writing and or authorized by the person or his agent, you can have a time bar date as an exception to consideration. There is no need to have a consideration, but a writing promise you need for the payment of time bar date. So these are the exception to the consideration. First is out of natural love and affection. Second is if you have done something voluntarily in the past services, and the third is time bar dates. Payment of time bar date becomes enforceable contract if it is a writing with the promise. Then he has a right to take money, or the person has to pay the money for the time bar. Now, next topic is void agreements. So, what is void agreements? Agreements which are not enforceable by law are the void agreement. That means they are not contract because they do not have lawful enforceability by the law. So they do not have enforce of law. So, such agreements defined under section 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30. So, we'll discuss them one by one now. Now, section 26 talks about every agreement in restraint of marriage is void unless with other than minor. So that means any agreement which is restraining you from marriage. Marriage is, of course, your own choice. No one can restrain you for this. So if an agreement which restrains yourself for doing marriage or to marry your choice person, that agreement is void. We'll discuss the case of Lowe versus Pierce. Here, the defendant promised the plaintiff that he will pay certain amount of money if he will not marry to her choice person. So this agreement is void agreement because to marry someone it is his of own choice. No one can make such an agreement against her will. So any agreement which restrains you from marrying to your choice person or from marriage is against public policy and I will declare as a void agreement. Section 27 talks about an agreement which restrain you from doing trade. So doing trade is your own right. No one can restrain you from doing trade. So to do business of any nature in any area in our country, you have right to do that. So if any person who is making agreement that you cannot do a trade is against the contract, such agreements are void. So we'll discuss the case of Madhuban Chandel versus Rajkumar Das. Here, defendant gave offers 10,000 rupees to the plaintiff that if he should not do the same kind of business in the same area. So such agreement is void in the nature because everyone has a right to do any kind of business in any area. No one can infringe his rights. So such agreements are void in the eyes of law. So next is section 28, which states that an agreement which restricts you from pursuing any legal proceedings or contractual legal rights against any person. So if anyone restricts you from pursuing any legal proceedings in the court of law, such agreements are void. For example, we discuss the case of Tapash Majmudar versus Pranab Das Gupta over here. In this case, there's a one club who made a rules that no one can file a case against the election process of the club. If he filed a case, the club will take action. So such kind of agreement will restrain you from entering into the legal proceedings against any person. So such agreements are declared as a void. And another is that if they are taking away the time limit, that for example in the Limitation Act you have limited time in which you have to file the case. So any person is uh, disobeying this, that you cannot case in during that time, or you cannot file a case against between the 3 years against me. Such kind of conduct against me declare as a void in the law of conduct. No one can take away your rights to file a case in the court or legal proceedings. Such agreements are void in the nature. You have right to go in the court of law and file a case against any person who has infringing your right. Section 29, when the agreements are uncertain, that means agreement does not have absolute, matters or what they are going to pay, what they really need or asking from you. Such agreements are void. For example, if I am saying you that I'll sell my horse to you either on 500 or 1000 rupees. So I am not clear about the terms and conditions of the contract. So such contracts are uncertain in the nature. So this tenders cannot be enforced by law. These are the void contract in the eyes of law. So there must be a precise contract. If I want to sell horse at this price, or if I want to sell this oil at this place on this amount, such contract can be enforced. Uncertain contract cannot be enforced by law. Such kind of agreements are void. The last is section 30, that is defined wagering contracts. What are wagering agreements? What are wagering agreements? Wagering agreements when you are betting on one thing. For example, who will win, India or Pakistan? So that means there must be some winning or losing in any agreement, or there are maybe one party will win, one party will lose. Such agreements are wager agreements. And in this, parties will have only interest in winning or losing. So such agreements will not be enforceable in the court of law. They are void agreements. So any agreements which have winning or losing or having a betting that if you will, I'll pay you this. Such agreements are, if they both have both the parties are opposite views from this any game. Such agreements are wager agreements and declared as a void agreement. They cannot have enforceability of the law. So this cannot be enforced by the law of contract. So today we have discussed three topics. First, lawful object, lawful consideration. That says that there must be a lawful object in consideration in your contract. Nothing can be forbidden by law, fraudulent purpose, opposed to public policy, immoral contract. Then we have discussed exception to consideration. That means there are still exception to consideration, but they have three conditions. That it must be derived from the nature, love and affection. It must be a past service, voluntary service, and the last is standby date. Then we have discussed void agreements. That means agreements which do not have legal enforcement. So first is 20 start from restraint of marriage, section 23. Anything which is restraining from doing marriage. Second is restraining from trade. Second is restraining from legal proceedings. Fourth is it is uncertain event, and the last is it is a wager agreement. So see, we have discussed about three topics today. Thank you.